First question, what accounts bill an annual single fee for a group of services, including asset allocation, portfolio management, and execution? A, wrap option, C, cash account, or D, margin. A. All right, really good. Right, that describes a wrap account, right? Everything, all the services are included. They're wrapped by one single fee, including the portfolio management, right? And the overhead and things, expenses, but also the big one is it includes all transactions. So instead of paying a separate commission for each trade, it's all included in the pay one price, kind of an all you can eat buffet. Okay. Wrap accounts are offered by investment advisors, not broker dealers. So if a broker dealer offers wrap accounts, it also has to register as an investment advisor as well. Options accounts, of course, for trading options. Cash accounts have to be paid in full. A margin account is the extension of credit, which allows you to borrow against the value of your portfolio. Either you can withdraw cash like a line of credit, but usually it's to leverage, right? So you can purchase additional securities, right? Just put down the minimum down payment. All right, let's see who scored some points. All right, good. Alexis has taken an early lead, a narrow lead. Okay. Now remember, the faster you answer, right, the more points you score. Which of the following statements is most correct regarding customer accounts? Hypothecation agreements are required for joint account cash accounts only. B, a customer may open a cash and margin account at the same time. C, cash accounts can be approved by a principal after the first trade. D, only margin accounts need to be approved by an authorized. Good, yes, you can have both a cash account and margin account. They're not really like separate accounts or account numbers, or you don't get different envelopes. They're basically like sub accounts under one single account number. The cash account holds the things that you cannot borrow against and have to be paid in full. The margin accounts hold the marginable securities. Good. Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, Kimberly taking the lead. Real nice. Let's check our next one. Okay, oh, we got someone here just arrived. Okay. Hello and welcome. Okay. Okay. You may want to hit your unmute button. If you can hear me, welcome here. Are you able to hear me?
That may be our 6:30 speaker, Richard.
Okay. All
right. Did I join too early? Sorry.
That's all right. Well, you can join us here for a game. All right. Let's check our next question. Hypothecation is A, opening position in the margin account. B, if customer securities as collateral for margin loan. C, replacing shares borrowed to a sell short margin account. Or D, the closing of security initial position purchase on margin. Just one person got this one, right? Hypothecation is to pledge. That's what it means, right? To pledge securities as loan collateral for a margin account. The hypothecation agreement says, okay, I pledge my securities as collateral, which also allows the broker-dealer to sell those securities in case someone defaults on the loan. Okay, replacing shares to borrow a short sale, they just call that covering a short position or closing a short position. All right, let's see who scored this one. Alexis moving into the lead, and 3 in a row. A FINRA maintenance call will occur in a long account if the equity drops below A, 30% for $2,000, B, 35% for $2,500, C, 25% or $2,000, D, 50% or $2,500. Okay, great. Yes. Our minimum maintenance requirement is 25% of equity, 25%. And again, FINRA has the minimum maintenance of $2,000 minimum equity. Okay, good. If you thought 30%, you might have been thinking about a short margin account. Alexis is 4 in a row. Hannah and Ashley move up. A FINRA maintenance call will occur in a short margin account if the equity drops below, which I think I just gave it away. A, 50% or $2,500. B, 25% or $2,000. C, 35% or $2,500. D, 30% or $2,000. Okay. Yeah, a little difference of opinion on this one, but yes, in a short margin account, minimum equity is 30%, and again, always still requires the minimum $2,000. Yes, Alexis.
I can't remember off the top of my head. Is it the larger amount between the 30%
Yes,
or the 2,000?
the larger of the two.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Oops. Karen. Okay. Just arrived too. All right. Good evening, Karen. Okay. You may want to hit your unmute button.
There we go. Sorry about that. Good evening.
Good evening. Okay. We just thought if we would take a little quick quiz here, but we can always pause this in the meanwhile. So hang on while I stop the share here. Okay. All right. Well, good evening, one and all, and welcome to Karen and to JP. Okay. Please, if you have a moment to can say hello to our very enthusiastic group here. I've had the pleasure of working with for these, how long has it been now? Was it 7 weeks? 8 weeks? I'm kind of losing track. But we've had the chance to review, go over their SIE, and they're getting ready to chomping at the bit here to tackle this test. So there at this point, of course, they might be going, ooh, why am I doing this again? So this is why we're having our meeting tonight, to give them a reminder that, hey, there is some light here at the end of the tunnel, and there are some real opportunities awaiting. So if you could, please go ahead, just do yourself a quick introduction and tell us all about everything.
Absolutely. We did have something we wanted to share on the screen. Do you have a way for us to do that?
I think you should be able to share screen. Do you have a screen share? I think everybody can.
There should be a present now button right in the
Present
middle,
now,
at the
yeah.
bottom of everybody's faces.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there it is. I see. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back and start it over. I apologize.
Here we go. Okay, I think we see. Yeah, I think we see it. Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let me just start this over, and I'd be happy to jump in and get started while I'm pulling this up. But hi, everybody. My name is Karen McAnally. I work with Merrill and Bank of America. Part of my job, I've been with the company for 9.5 years, and I work for the Academy for Consumer Investments. Part of my job is to do all of the onboarding for all of our new hires. That includes the additional licensing as well as preparing them for their individual role that they're moving into. Myself, I do have the SIE, the 7, 66, 9, 10, and 24. So a lot of licensing under my belt. I can give you guys some good advice. Stick with it. But I'm happy to meet all of you, and I'll go ahead and pass it over to Jen to introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Potter. I am a talent acquisition consultant, aka recruiter. I've been with the bank in talent acquisition my entirety of my career for the last 13 years. I've supported anything from our call center space to our licensed roles, our unlicensed roles, which would be great opportunities for you to get your foot in the door as well. Currently, I support our Retirement Personal Wealth Solutions division, which is a good stepping area to go to after you've become licensed as well. And so I'm here to kind of talk through any kind of HR, TA type recruiting questions and making sure that you can have a face to connect with for future roles. Let me go ahead and kick it off.
Right when you are.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Richard, very much, and Bill, for letting us join. I hope everybody's having a good evening, and we appreciate allowing us to join you. We want to talk about kind of our mission, our SIE licensed roles, and we will share how you can apply for opportunities with the bank. We're going to do a Q&A at the very end. So if you have any questions, please feel free to write some notes so we can address them at the end of our little spiel, so to speak. Now, you may be wondering, why would you want to work at Bank of America? This is a great question. You know, at the bank, we have a value-driven mission. We grow responsibly with several different career opportunities for you, not just to get your entry-level position, but growth further along down the road. With such strong values, purpose, and growth across the entire enterprise, it's not really a surprise that we are really seen as a top employer across many different groups. I mean, I myself have been here for 13 years, which shows longevity. And I'm going to try not to bore you with some of the slides. I know you're going to see this, but I'll kind of talk through this. You know, of course, on the next slide, on slide 5, it's going to say, Bank of America is one of the best companies in the world. Of course, we're going to agree to that because we work there. But as you can see from this slide, you can take a look at the list of some of the recent awards we've received. So if you take a sec to look at those, many of these are very focused on specific demographics. You know, diversity and inclusion is something that we focus strongly on here. We believe it's the reason we are so successful in our industry, and it's really a part of our core values. And we'll have also employee networks to help find your own community and a place of belonging within the company, so you can bring your whole self to work. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about employee networks in a bit, though. But as you can see, some of these awards, one of them is America's Most Just Companies. Now, this is our 7th year being in this, but this being 2023, we were actually number 1 and the first finance company to actually lead the list. We were also named by Corporation of the Year with the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce, and American Banker Most Powerful Women in Banking and Finance. We had 4 Bank of America executives that were recognized individually for their leadership in banking and finance. And I know the business I support is actually led by a woman as well. And so we strive to, have diversity in all types of positions, whether it's, someone that's just starting out with us or someone who is an executive and leader. Now, if you go to the next slide, I'll kind of dive into a little bit of that. We believe that being a diverse and inclusive company is really core to being a great place to work. We want to encompass, all the different types of clients we have. So we want to make sure we have a diverse talent, so that way we can support all those communities. We want to drive responsible growth, and we always are looking to deliver on our purpose for all of those that we serve. And so we know that diversity really makes us a stronger company. Now, I'd like to emphasize that we're committed to employees and committed to diversity from both a global workforce and leadership perspective. And so right now, we're proud to say that we have over 50% of our global workforce are women, and Bank of America is one of only 9 of the S&P 100 companies with 6 or more women on the board. So these are quite a few of the proud achievements that we're proud of. But it's not just the only things that we're proud of. Now, this is one of the things that I like to talk to you about, our next slide, about our benefits. We believe our employees are the foundation to our success. Our comprehensive benefit and programs really support the overall employee wellness and provide access to different resources to help them thrive. And, I'm just going to go over some of the top ones and kind of give you some ideas of how I related to some of our benefits and took advantage of them. One of the things that's key, of course, is physical wellness. We want to make sure we're all in a good place physically. And so they have different systems and services to help address health risks, manage healthcare costs, including providing robust health and insurance benefits, as well as wellness and preventive resources. I know me personally, if it hadn't been the type of insurance coverage that the company offered with our different insurance plans, I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I did to start a family and things like that. And again, from there, there's other benefits such as adoption credits, fertility specialists that you can talk to one-on-one, from a family perspective. That also encompasses, kind of segues over to maternity and paternity leave. That's paid for 4 months time off, which is wonderful. So you get, both sets of parents are able to take the time off. And that is inclusive of whether you are having your baby or adopting a baby. So that physical wellness piece kind of leads to all the others. One of the things that they also like to support is our emotional wellness. We really want to make sure we're providing the right services to our teams. And so they're providing additional resources to help employees manage stress, build resiliencies, pursue mindfulness, including the life event services team. I know some peers of mine had used the life event services team when they had a death of a family member, and it was able to help them navigate through those different situations that come up when we have those situations. They also offer 12 free counseling sessions a year to all their employees, which is wonderful. Even if you just need to, say you're having a bad month and you just need to talk to a complete stranger, sometimes that can help. And so to have 12 free counseling sessions is nice, having that option. The other benefit of working with our company, of course, is financial wellness. There are so many different products and services that the bank can offer that, they want to make sure our financial lives are better through the power of every connection we make. So it's especially important we support the financial wellness of everybody, including and not limited to tuition reimbursement. You all are here taking your SIE. You'll get tuition reimbursement for future education in regards to getting your licenses. There's also prepaid vouchers for different services. You can get reimbursed, or when accepted by the school, you can use these prepaid vouchers for your eligible undergraduate and graduate courses that are relevant to your current position or your role that you want to pursue at the bank. So there is other directions that you can go. There's also, you also get access to free academic advising to really help find the best learning programs and courses to meet your educational and career goals. Now, another aspect that people don't think about is volunteering in the community. It's very important for Bank of America, and they encourage all employees to support the causes that you care about, not just what they care about, through volunteering. Employees are provided 2 hours a week of paid time off to volunteer with manager approval, of course. Now, I myself, I think I'm at 200 hours of volunteer time so far. I have a 10-year-old. He is in a family PAX Cub Scouts, and I assist with a lot of the planning and events and administrative things that go along with his Cub Scout pack. And because of the hours that I've earned, I was able to earn 2 grants from the bank that was paid directly to my organization that totaled $1,000 for the year. So the fact that our company supports us to be able to do this 2 hours a week, and of course, on our own time, we'll volunteer with our different organizations, whether it's Feed My Starving Children or United Food Bank. Those are a lot of the ones that myself and my teammates support. You can count those hours, and if you earn enough hours, you get that added incentive of helping that organization with a grant. So again, it goes back to supporting our teammates. That circles with financial, that circles with emotional. And then on kind of a side note, there's lots of discount programs. So many benefits that they offer here at Bank of America. And this list really isn't all inclusive of the things that, we showcase on this slide. But I would not forgive myself if I did not mention our amazing employee discount program. Discounts on things like travel and fitness and entertainment, preferred pricing for top retailers, online stores. I myself get a Verizon wireless discount. I think it's like 20 or 25% off my data, which, I don't know about you, but cell phone costs keep going up and up and up. So any discount is appreciated. They also offer discounts on online stores, local shops, and more. And then you can also find discounts and preferred pricing on things like vacation packages, hotels, airport parking, car rentals. I personally, every time I go on a trip, and I need a rental car, I only use the Bank of America program because it really is. This summer is a perfect example. I was pricing out car rentals for a week, and it was going to be about $700 or $800 a week. I was actually able to get a deal that was $250. So you can see the difference, $700 for the week or $250 for a week. I think I'll go for the $250, and then I can have the extra money to buy the fun stuff. There's also sporting event and entertainment and stadium seating, depending on your location and things like that. And then, of course, one thing that I didn't even really touch too much on is all the employee discounts you get for checking, savings, auto loans, home loans, any kind of credit card. There's always different programs. You earn different rewards. Being a preferred member, I myself have banked actually with Bank of America for over, I'm going to age myself, probably 25 years now. And before that, I think it was Nations Bank. So I've always been a customer as well as a client and now an employee. And then, of course, you do have connections with the type of roles that you all would be looking for. Investment connections. I myself have a college plan started for my son. My husband's getting ready to retire from his job. So we're going to be working on, starting the retirement fund, even though we already have some retirement started. So there's all these different connections that we have available to us as being employees. So I know I kind of went a little long on that, but the benefits really is one of my favorite sections of and reasons of being here, besides the leaders that I have in my own personal space. So we can go to our next slide, creating opportunities for teammates to grow and develop. As we mentioned in previous slides, when you begin your career with Bank of America, it's the first door to many opportunities that we offer. We have the award-winning Bank of America Academy, which Karen, of course, is a member of, for both onboarding and skill development. They don't just help you become a new hire learning about your role, they help you grow and develop in that career. So there's a lot of assistance and support that the Academy team does for all of our employees. They offer a career path tool, as well as career planning tools to help you when you're ready to make that next step in your career with us. And I do want to highlight that about 50% of our positions were filled this year, I believe, with internal candidates. So they are really highlighting the fact that we want to see internal organic growth. We want you to have that next step. So it's not just you come in and you start and you stay in your role forever, unless that's what you want. I myself, I started as a talent acquisition consultant or coordinator. We called it a recruiting coordinator. I did that for about 2 years, promoted to an internal recruiter role. And then within a year and a half became a recruiter. And I've grown my career since then as a recruiter, but supporting different teams and being more on projects, and going different directions, because that's the route I want to do. And I honestly hope to stay in this role until my time to retire, probably 20 years from now, but I'm hoping maybe not that long. But so there is those opportunities where you can grow in your career and stay where you want, or you can grow and veer off and go somewhere else. Another key fact that is really important, of course, is the financial side. What's the pay like, right? Currently, Bank of America just recently, here in 2023, raised their minimum starting pay to $23 an hour. And they are committed to a minimum hourly starting wage of $25 an hour by 2025. So we really want to make sure that, this is where you're going to start and then grow as far as your career. Okay, so I've talked a whole lot. I'm going to let Karen talk at this point. She's going to talk about probably more important things to you about the SIE and the licensing and the roles and things like that. So I am going to hand it over to you, Karen.
Great. Thank you so much, Jen. Talk to you guys a little bit about working at Bank of America. There are several lines of businesses at Bank of America where opportunities are available. We have our banking markets, finance, global technology, and contact centers. But really today I want to focus on the SIE license roles. That's what you guys are studying for, and I really want to talk about what that license can really put you into. Just click the next one really quick. Sorry about the delay with the slides too. It's taking just a second to switch over, so I apologize. All right, so while that's switching over, the SIE is a stepping stone for your career, right? I'm sure you've heard this from your professors and all of the people that are helping you with this test. It's a stepping stone into the financial services industry. It is a co-requisite to taking any additional FINRA qualification exams. Candidates with the SIE are seen as highly desirable. They present a significant time and cost savings for employers. It is even possible to be hired into a somewhat higher level position that offers additional licensing going into the role. There we go. Sorry again about that. We have an amazing academy, which is dedicated to training our new hires for their roles. We offer clear opportunities for advancement and many different pathways into specialty roles. So there's a lot of different entrance roles, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But all of those roles, you can take different career paths to grow into and find out along the way what you want to specialize in, what role you want to do. Do you want to talk to clients over the phone? Do you want to talk to clients in person? Are you looking to be a financial advisor? So all of these opportunities really help open not only the pathway for you in your career, but allow you to identify maybe what that is with the practice and speaking with clients. So it is we have a lot of great programs within the academy to help you really identify your individual pathway. So I know you guys know, and again, it's taking just a second to switch over, but I know you guys know all about the SIE at this point. You guys have probably been studying for a while, but I do want to talk about a little bit about the other tests that would need to be completed to be fully licensed, right? With the 7, this specific one, the SIE kind of covers the overall basics of securities information. Again, as you guys are more likely aware, but the 7 steps it up a little bit and goes into it with a little bit more detail with that same information. So it takes what you've learned and it adds on to it in more depth. So the SIE really is a great way to get that introductory into even the next exam. So once you pass that, you're going into the 7 with a little bit of that knowledge already, and you're just taking it up a notch and going into a little bit more detail. It's a little bit longer with 125 questions. Again, but it does touch base on some of the things you might have already learned in the SIE. These 2 combination exams, the SIE and the 7, is what registers you as a registered representative. After that, you would be getting your 66, which is a little bit different, covers a little bit different material, state laws, and really advisory. There's a lot of advisory type questions, fiduciary, and really it's the license that allows you to be registered as an investment advisor. Again, it's a little bit different and a little bit potentially trickier just because it does ask you to use your best judgment when it comes to choosing the most correct answer rather than the correct answer. But it is slightly shorter than the 7, so that is good. But those are the 3 exams total that you would need to be fully licensed. So as you can see, you're already getting a start with your SIE. And if you were to get hired on, these would be the 2 additional exams that you would take. And just so you guys know, anytime we do offer a licensed role for associates, when you do come in, you do get dedicated study time for those licenses. So basically you're being paid to come into the office and study for those exams for 8 hours a day. So it's a really great program. All right, I want to go ahead and talk about a little bit more about the different roles that an entry-level SIE would go into. So if you want a career in investments and are passionate about developing and growing client relationships, Merrill could be the right pathway for you. Some of the benefits of completing the SIE exam include the ability to distinguish yourself from your peers, seeking interns or jobs, an opportunity to jumpstart your career goals, increase marketability in the finance service industry, You may take the exam, and I'm sure you've already heard this already, but you can take the exam before receiving a job offer, and the results are valid for 4 years. So after you pass this SIE, you still have 4 years where the test scores are still valid. As you can see, there are many different roles that your SAE could lead you into. All of these roles are client-facing and will help clients support their best help them make their best financial decisions. Some of them are inbound call center positions. For instance, the first section there, regional banking, we have our investment specialist trainee. The third one there, the financial center, financial solutions advisor. That one is going to be in a branch, or most likely a Bank of America branch, as a Merrill advisor. The first one is an inbound call center position, but that one's really nice because it allows you to really get your hands on all different types of specific questions or things that the clients may call in for. The ones at the bottom, we also have ones that you can be in we mentioned being in a Bank of America branch as an FSA, but we also have some that you can be in an actual branch, Merrill Lynch branch, working with a financial advisor as a client associate. The Merrill Retirement and Benefits Financial Services representative is going to be an inbound call center position. And then the Merrill Office Advisory Develop Program is one of our really great programs that just rolled out. I would say, I think it's maybe been a year or two ago. And this is, again, a great position that allows you to work in a financial center and learn how to do the financial advisory position. So all of these are a little bit different, but also very similar, and where they're all very client-centric roles that allow you to help make clients' lives better with their financial decisions. So again, these are not all of the entry level positions. These are the majority of them, or kind of a highlight of them, but there are certainly other positions within Merrill that do have the opportunity to come in and get the additional licenses. I just wanted to also kind of go over one other thing with you. I told you guys I work in the academy, and one of the best things about working in the academy is that I get to talk about some of the other different programs that we have outside of the academy, and I'm just waiting for this to change, so I apologize. But we at the academy, as part of Bank of America Merrill, we offer training and professional development organization. We're kind of dedicated to growth and success of not only our teammates and our new hires, but also to our communities. We have free courses that offer career readiness, financial wellness, as well as skill-specific learning. And once I can get this to switch over, I do have kind of a list of all of the upcoming course dates, as well as a QR code that you guys can take and look at that a little bit further to see if there's any of those specific courses that you would like to join. And it's going to be right on the next one. But while you guys are kind of taking and getting a picture of that QR code to see if there is any specific ones you want to join, I want to kind of open it up. Jen and I want to open it up for some questions and answers. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
There was one thing I was a little curious about myself. Is about the different Merrill offerings. I know the Merrill Lynch, of course, the traditional broker-dealer, but there's also a Merrill Edge, which I understand is maybe more like the electronic broker or discount broker. Is that fair to say? Is there a difference here between them?
Yes. Yeah, that is fair to say. Yeah, and some of those different roles we were talking about are the top one was more of our Merrill Edge, bottom one was more of our Merrill Lynch. But yes, they are a little bit different and separate entities. I actually work on the Edge side, so it is a lot of our positions are call center positions. However, we also have associates or FSAs in Bank of America branches assisting our clients in need. So it is a little bit of a hybrid, but you're right. We do lean more towards self-directed, but we do also offer advisory programs. Merrill Lynch, again, is that kind of brick and mortar advisory where you can go in and meet with your advisor in your specific area. as well as have different services that are offered over the phone and virtually.
Colby, I see your hand is raised.
Hi, sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm sorry I didn't take notes for it, but on a couple slides ago, where was that like arrow talking about the career paths? The first one was the entry
Slide
level.
12.
That was specialist.
Investment specialist trainee.
Yeah, and it said if applicable, what sort of qualifications or background would someone need for that?
It's entry level, and it's one of the positions that you can really go into fresh out of college, fresh out of getting your SIE. Again, getting your SIE is not a prerequisite for that position. Even you can kind of come in and get that with the company. However, again, that SIE gives you that advantage to that position, right? Gives you a little bit of a push ahead, but no necessary pre-qualification. And actually, Jen, if you want to jump in and say anything too, but there's not necessarily any prerequisites for this position. It is entry level, and it is one of those positions that you would start studying with your 7 and your 66 once you join in. That one is inbound call center. However, once you're licensed, you do assist with placing trades for clients, and it's focused more on our self-directed platform.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there's different teams. You have like life events that deals with the death of loved ones. You'll have like our brokerage accounts. I'm trying to remember some of the other teams I used to support. Having that SIE gives you that leg up on some of the other recent graduates or other people changing careers. And so when you go in for like an interview, they're going to see the SIE. So that means they already know you're one step ahead. So you could go for the Merrill entry role or the securities licensing. Both will have that opportunity to get the 7 and 66 and then progress from there. And like Karen said, they let you have, all day to come in and study for these because they want you to be successful. And if I'm not mistaken, Karen, maybe I'm wrong from my information because it's been a few years. When the Academy took over the training programs for the licensing, our pass-through rate increased.
It did.
And so we were able to help more people pass than not, which was nice.
Yes.
I think it was, I can't remember the percentage, and I don't want to say 90 because it's stuck in my head, but I know it went up to at least 85 to 90, I thought. But
it did. I believe it's exceeded that at this point, but we've had we've been very successful with our pass rates in all 3 of the exams since taking over. And we do offer a lot of different resources as well as your studying.
Yep. Hopefully that answered your question, Colby.
Hi, I was curious. So for the entry level roles, is it more retail and call center facing, or is there any other areas in there? I believe Merrill Lynch, you guys are more of a private banking, right?
There's really entry level sort of across the board. It just depends on with who. So there is some within our wealth management or Merrill Lynch side. One of the ones I had mentioned was the wealth management client associate. So that would be the going in, getting your licenses and working with a financial advisor at a Merrill Lynch branch. And you'd be the person kind of calling and helping with the clients as dealing with regular everyday business with them, as you're learning kind of under that FA. There's a couple other ones that was on here too for our retirement and benefits financial services representative. That one would be an inbound call center. So there really is opportunities both in branches, in Bank of America branches, as well as call center for entry level positions.
Okay, thank you.
And I've seen a lot of switching as well. People could start off client facing and decide they would rather be on the phones. And then you have the associates who are on the phone, enjoy it, but rather have that direct, face-to-face client interaction. And so there's a lot of talent that can go both ways, no matter where you start, whether it's at the call center or in the financial centers.
And that's one of the things I mentioned about specific pathways. Regardless of where your starting point is, you're going to learn a lot. about what you like and what specialty you like. And that's something that we would offer is sort of a pathway to how can you get now from where you are in this role after identifying what it is that you want to specialize or what you want to focus on or what you're talented at and get you to that higher level position. And that is something that we do strive to do well, is really making and helping our associates go through that specific path to get to their, I wouldn't want to say end position because there's so much room for growth all the time. But get to that, that dream position that you identify.
And that's the thing about the whole Bank of America, Merrill Lynch entity. There's the financial center side, there's the financial advisor center side, and then there's the call center side. And then for those that don't like the client interaction, there's the behind the scenes. So it's one of the luxuries about working with Bank of America, as there are so many different directions you can actually go, depending on what you want, what your skills are, what you're passionate about, and things like that.
I did go ahead and put this up on the screen too, if you guys wouldn't mind scanning this QR code and filling it out just so that you can stay connected with us. We want to hear about when you pass, because you are going to pass. So we want to hear and stay connected and keep that door open for any other additional opportunities with us in the future.
If I could ask, for those who are, concerned about geography, but what part of the valley your call center is located in, or where are most of your branches? I know, of course, branches are all over the valley, but where maybe they're most likely to find branches that have positions available.
So our call center is actually located in Chandler on the 101 in Chandler Boulevard. And then
right next to Chandler Fashion Mall.
Yeah, right next to Chandler Fashion Mall. And I mean, really, we have positions opening up at all of the different branches, Bank of America branches and Merrill branches. It really kind of just depends on business need, but we have, as you know, quite a few of them around, especially even our Merrill branches. We have quite a few. Jen, I don't know if you know any specifics of those where they all are, or maybe.
No, I don't have. There's so many different sites. I mean, I know we've got Gilbert, we've got Scottsdale, we've got Central Phoenix, we've got Glendale. As far as main hubs for the company itself, we have our three main hubs. Chandler, of course, is a big campus. I think we've got 25 to 3,000 employees there. Mm-hmm. Then we have our Phoenix campus, which is over by Buckeye. It's over by Sky Harbor Airport, but I don't believe there's a Merrill call center space there.
Correct.
And then we have our Collier Center, which I know has a lot of HR, commercial lending, things like that. That's the big tower downtown. And then, of course, financial centers wherever. And then some of them are, like she talked about, hybrids, where you've got kind of a combination of the different teams. I think one of the things that, as a customer myself, you go into the financial centers now, and they try to make it almost like a one-stop shop. So if you go in to make your deposit, but you have questions about your mortgage, you can go talk to somebody. You can have questions to talk to a financial advisor. There's a lot of those sites that we have throughout the valley as well. And some things in Tucson too, in case you're looking to relocate down there.
Alexis, I see your hand is raised.
Do you guys have a LinkedIn that you guys post when there's openings at the different branches? Or is it just kind of following along with the
follow along with Bank of America? Occasionally, some of the recruiters that support those roles may highlight, if they happen to live in the area and they are hiring for that role, they'll highlight it to their own LinkedIn network, because that would make sense. If I'm hiring in Phoenix and I live in Phoenix, I'm going to advertise. I might share the different opportunities that somebody else might have. But Bank of America whole, they I believe recommend and post all of our opportunities that we have. It's always best really to go to our career site and do a search that way, especially if you're location specific, because then you can filter out the opportunities that are not available to you. That are not of interest to you as far as commute or I don't know if you all on the call are like me. I tend to see it's east or west. I myself live in Chandler, so I want to work at Chandler. If I live in Glendale, I want to work in Phoenix, that kind of thing. I don't want to come all the way over to Chandler and vice versa. So you can filter out in our career site via city. You can filter out with keywords saying SIE to help you find the perfect fits for you that way. And that'll get you the best information of what you need versus the LinkedIn postings, even though you can see a lot of it on there.
Many companies, especially in the post-COVID world, have may had to revamp their work environment to being in office or fully remote or hybrid. What is B of A's stance now on the on using on remote work?
So we do have a somewhat hybrid. It really kind of depends on the position that you're in and the different line of business that you're in. I think it depends. I know we have some lines of business where it's allowable to have up to 1 or 2 days work from home. But we do encourage people to come into the office, right? We work better when we're connected, and we do encourage people to come in. But I would say it is hybrid. There are certainly positions where there's certain days per week that you can do a work from home environment.
Okay. And if I can address everyone here, but with his ability to actually have dedicated study time, to actually come in and your job for the whole day is to study, that is a huge, huge advantage. I've known so many people myself. I was a little sort of hybrid myself on that, but originally I had my regular duties during the day, and then when I had time, I'd open up a textbook. And not only does that take a lot more time because, well, not just because you only have a smaller slice of the day to study, but it's a little harder to build up the momentum, right, to study. So it really does accelerate when you do have dedicated study time. So that is a big, big bonus right there.
And being paid.
Yeah, and being paid. Okay.
And getting the paycheck.
And being paid.
Yep.
Most of the time you're paying to learn. And this is one of those opportunities where you're coming in and being paid to learn. So definitely an advantage.
All right. Okay.
Any other questions?
Where would the next steps go from here? So if we filled out this QR code, would we expect communication from one of you two, or would we go to Bank of America's webpage and just apply for a role?
We do. You fill it out. You want to go ahead, Jen?
Yeah, I was going to say, you go ahead and fill that out, and it puts it in one of our special little systems, right? And then I know that our teams are going to be, because I currently do not support any of the Merrill Edge or Merrill Lynch positions right now. I'm currently hiring for more mid-level manager level, non-licensed, and occasionally some licensed sales opportunities that would be something you would go towards later. So the teams, once you graduate, they'd be the ones that would reach out once they start getting opportunities in the new year. I'm not sure of the timing, so I'm hoping it'll flow nice and easy. You finish your SIE, and then they'll have the opportunities available that you can check out. Yes. But the QR code really helps our TA teams, the talent acquisition recruiters, to be able to connect with you.
Yes, Bill?
So I've been working with Jessica Singer, and I know most of you don't know who that is, but she works at Bank of America, and she reaches out to me every single semester and asks me for the names of students who pass. So even if you fill out this QR code, you may still be contacted by Bank of America because they're very interested in students who pass the SIE.
Yes.
Yeah, and Jessica is part of, she's if I remember right, she's a talent acquisition consultant, but she's part of our community projects that work with different high schools, colleges, programs like yours, and trying to find the right opportunities for new graduates such as yourselves soon from the SIE. So amongst other things. But yeah, Jessica may be the one because I think she supports our state. So she might actually be the one that might reach out.
She's also really great at helping you decide which positions to apply for based on your interests.
Yes.
Yeah, she's very well informed. Any other questions? I didn't see anything in chat except Karina agreeing with us earlier.
Upon being accepted position at the new, is there? I assume there's a formal training process. Perhaps there's a class at the time where you learn the systems, you learn how the things work. Fill out your benefits forms. What's the training process like? The onboarding.
Yeah, I can actually talk to you about that. That's my specialty area. So it really depends on what position you're going into. But regardless, when you come in, number one is we have an orientation. So you get to know a little bit more about the company, get settled. And then you really immediately kind of start your study time. And then once we want to fully focus on study. We don't want to talk about systems or anything like that until you've passed your exams. We don't want to kind of mix or entangle any other information in your brains. We know there's a lot of information you already have to learn. So we have our dedicated study time first. And then once you're fully licensed, we do have a 2-week core training program that teaches you all of the systems and how to actually do things in the system. And I apologize, it's actually been extended to 3 weeks. It includes on-the-job training. So you would sit with other associates who are live and observe. And then following that, you will have an opportunity to start taking calls or working within the position. It really, again, just depends on what position you're going into. But you'll have an opportunity to practice and actually start the interactions of the job with assistance from an academy associate or teacher. And then after that, it again, just depending on what role you're going into, we start adding a little bit more. We'll go back into training, we'll learn a few other things, and then we'll come back out and we'll start practicing it. I know for that investment specialist trainee role, specifically, once you pass your exams, it is an 8-week training program where you're working and staying within the academy until you graduate the academy and you go live to your team. So there's a lot of different trainings that you would attend, but after each one, you'll have an opportunity to sort of practice what you learn before you go back and learn more. But every role has a specific training path with specific trainings too. So it really just depends.
Okay. Well, it's delightful to hear, and especially when there's so many choices that are possible, that there's help available in making that choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Okay. I'm all good. Is there anyone else have anything they'd like to bring up, review? In which case, I think we are, I'm very grateful that you've had a chance to come by this evening, and join us. And I'll point out to folks that there's there's some real opportunities there.
Yes, it's really a pleasure meeting all of you. Please feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn as well. I'd love to hear about when you pass your exam. Keep studying, and good luck to all of you, really.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for having us both on. We appreciate it.
It's been delightful. Thank you so much.
Have a great evening.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. And for the rest of us, this is a good chance to take a little quick break. So we'll come back in 10 minutes and we'll continue our Kahoots quiz. Okay. Bill, you hanging around, or are you going to take off?
No, I was in last place on Kahoots, so I'm going to leave. The 7 o'clock speaker that I didn't know if they were coming for sure or not, I'm assuming is not coming because it's 7:10 and nobody asked to enter the class, correct?
Not that I heard, no.
Okay. Then they may want to come Monday or Wednesday, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm all happy to reschedule for anyone who wants to come by.
I'm going to try and for sure reschedule the one
that
was at 6 o'clock because she did contact me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be great. Okay.
All right.
All right. We'll see you folks in 10 minutes time. All right. See you then.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Right. And share the screen again. All right. I think you should be able to see it now. All right. Let's hit our next button here. And it's our next question. Which of the following is considered a benefit for broker-dealers offering margin accounts to their customers? A. Additional employment of operational personnel to administer the accounts. B. Additional income generated from the payment of margin interest. C. Ability to accommodate more conservative clients. D. Ability to pledge customer securities for loans. Okay, this one was a little tricky. It's a little, somewhat, a little awkwardly worded question here, but yeah. The benefit to a broker dealer is that they get basically income from the margin interest, right? Because now remember, with a margin account, the customer borrows money from a broker dealer. Where does the broker dealer get the money to lend to the customer? They get it from a bank. So the bank lends money to the broker dealer at the broker call loan rate, and then the broker dealer loans money to the customer at the broker call loan rate plus another percentage point or two or three or whatever markup they get on it. So it's an additional revenue source. Exactly. Is that the ability to pledge security for customers? Oh, Amy's here. Nice. Okay. All right. Is ability to pledge customers? Well, it does have that. They do pledge the securities. That's not so much a benefit to the broker dealer, though. The benefit is the extra cash they get. Hello, Amy.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I had a prior engagement.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you made it. Unfortunately, we did miss our guest speakers today, but I did record the session.
Oh, good.
So
Thank
you
you.
should be able to see them later on. Okay. But before we go on, Amy, I got to tell you something. See, I was going through and I was looking at everybody's grades. I was updating their scores. And if see, I've already bragged about you. So if you see already applause and horns and stuff like that, it's because on one of your final exams, you scored a 98%, 83 out of 85, and I'm just like, okay.
Well, I mean, I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Well,
I
you're
don't
not
know if
just
I can do. I don't know if I could do that twice, but
maybe not, but I'm not that impressed. I'm not sure I could have more scored than 98%. So
well, thank you.
I am
Studying like crazy.
yes. Well, I'm just putting you up on a pedestal. All right, take a bow.
Well, thank you.
You did okay. All right. A little late to join. I'm not sure if you're going to join the coot right now, but there's the pin on there. I'm not sure if you can join midway through, but okay. But hey, if you can, why not? But here's our next question. Okay, and Ashley returned to the lead. Oh, it's a narrow lead, but it's there. Okay, let's check our next one. Opening a margin account for a client requires the client to do all the following except A. Receive a risk disclosure document. B. Signing the hypothecation agreement. C. Signing the loan consent. D. Signing the credit agreement. All right, just one person got this one, but yeah, the one that's not actually required, right? Notice this is an except question. All the following except they are not required to sign the loan consent agreement. That's the one that says I'll allow the broker dealer to lend the securities in my margin account to other customers for use in short sales. That, according to regulators, is optional. People are still asked to sign it, but they don't have to. They do have to sign the hypothecation agreement. That's the one that pledges their securities as collateral. And they do sign the credit agreement. That's the one that says if I borrow money, I promise to pay it back with interest. And yes, we do need a risk disclosure document. You'll find that they're very fond of their disclosure documents. Okay, let's see who scored this one. All right, his hand is moving up on the board. Nice. Let's check our next one. What type of account fee structure is typically better for the buy and hold investor? A, a broad-based account. B, a commission-based account. C, a narrow-based account. D, a fee-based account. I know I was really tricky to hear that, but a buy and hold investor is better off with a commission-based account. Why is that? Since they're buy and hold investors, they won't trade all that much. Right? Very few trading, so they're better off paying a separate commission for each trade since they trade so infrequently. A fee-based account, though, where you pay a flat fee, like a wrap account, for example, where you pay a flat fee, and for all the all the trading you can do, the all-you-can-eat buffet. Yes, okay, they're better for active traders. Yes, okay, because they'll probably save some money paying one flat fee for all the trades you can do. Hannah's 3 in a row. A bunch of people scored some points. Next question is, a new margin account has an initial purchase trade of 300 shares of MS Corp common stock at $10 per share. Firm sends a margin call forward A, $3,000. B, $1,500. $1,000. Or D, brilliant. Great job choosing two, right? Because a new margin account, the initial purchase, 300 shares at $10 a share is a $3,000 purchase. Now, Regulation T says you need to deposit minimum 50%. So the Reg T call would go down for $1,500. However, FINRA has its own rule. It says the minimum required equity is $2,000. So yes, the call will go out for $2,000. I know it's more than 50% because it's such a small amount. If the trade is less than $4,000, use the FINRA requirement. If it's more than $4,000, use the Reg T requirement. All right. Hey, Colby's taking the lead. Hey, pretty good. Hannah's a streak of 4. When a broker-dealer pledges customer securities to a bank as collateral for a margin loan, this pledge is known as A, hypothecation, B, credit agreement, loan consent, or D, rehypothecation. Tough one. Okay. I know we've heard the term hypothecation, but hypothecation is when the customer pledges their securities as collateral to the broker-dealer. But again, where does the broker-dealer get the money to lend to them? From a bank. So the broker-dealer then rehypothecates the customer securities to the bank. So if the customer defaults, the broker-dealer liquidates the securities and then uses that to repay the loan to the bank. So rehypothecation is the best choice. And if you didn't get this one, I can understand it. It's so rarely mentioned. We talk about hypothecation quite a bit, but rehypothecation hardly comes up. So, but it was Alexis. Good job, Alexis. Yes, Colby.
Can you please explain what you just said again, and also, I guess, why that ever even would come up?
Well, okay, because as we mentioned, right, in a margin account, a customer broker borrows money from the broker dealer. The customer hypothecates their securities to the broker dealer, means pledging their securities as collateral. But again, where does the broker dealer get the cash to lend it to the customer? They get it from a bank. Remember, broker dealers are not banks, so they have to get it from a bank. So since now the loan is what is securing the loan, right? The customer securities. So since the broker dealer took the loan from the bank, the broker then rehypothecates or double pledges the securities, the customer securities to the bank. Customer to broker dealer is hypothecation. Broker dealer to bank is rehypothecation.
Thank you.
You bet. Next question. Regarding purchases on margin, which of the following is true? And neither rights or warrants may be purchased on margin. Rights may be purchased on margin, but warrants cannot. C. Warrants and rights can both be purchased on margin. D. Warrants can be purchased on margin, but rights cannot. Okay, yes, the best answer choice is that warrants can be purchased on margin, but rights can't. Now remember, what's margin? Margin is using their securities as loan collateral, but they have to be marginable securities. That means they can be pledged as they can be used as loan collateral. The thing about rights, how long do rights last? Do you remember? You give someone the right to buy the company stock at a certain price, but how long do they have to make up their mind? 60 days? Yeah, if even that much, right? It's like 30 to 60 days. So, right, they're going to so basically rights will disappear in a very short period of time. Does anybody want to lend money on the value of something that's going to disappear in like 2 months at the most? I kind of doubt it. Okay. So no, rights are not marginable because they decay, they disappear in such a short period of time. How about warrants though? How long do warrants last? Can you tell me? 2 years, sometimes longer than that. Can be 3 years, 5 years, sometimes 6 years. Could even be 10 years. The SEC probably doesn't want them out that long, but they have been, at least in the past, like 10 years. Some of them have even been perpetual, that never actually expire, but that's extremely rare. But anyway, the idea is that they can last for years. Now, since they can last for years, they can be bought and traded on margin. They are marginable securities. Okay, so good. All right, Ashley takes the lead. Karina moves up. Next one. Last one. Regulation T, the initial margin requirement is set by A, the comptroller of the currency, B, the president and Congress, C, the Federal Reserve Board, D, the Securities and Exchange Commission. Good job. Yes, it is the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 under Regulation T gives authority to the Federal Reserve Board to set the minimum margin requirements. They set that currently at 50%. They have the authority to change that. They never do. Okay. No, the SEC is not part of it, and not the. I don't even know what a comptroller is, but I know it exists. And President and Congress, no, they do not. They do not set the margin requirements. It is the Federal Reserve who sets that. All right, how do we do? Let's see who our winners are. In third place, bronze medalist is Hannah. Second place, silver medalist is Ashley. And in first place, gold medal and Olympic champion, Kobe. Wicked. Nice job, everybody. All right. Fabulous work. Is any other part of that you'd like to ask about or review? I know I had a chance to go over some of that. Anything else that you'd like to review? All right, so the question here is can we go over uneven splits? Okay, this is how we do with stock splits. Okay, the formula is to find the new price per share. Take the original price, multiply by the first number in the ratio, and then divide the result by the second number. To find the new, let me try that again. Not the new price per share, the new number of shares. Take the original number, multiply that by the first, multiply by the first number in the ratio, divide the result by the second number. To find the new price per share, take the original price, multiply by the second number, and then divide the result by the first number. Okay. Now, there's more than one way to do this, by the way, to work out the numbers. And I can show you multiple ways. This is just the way I prefer, and you can work with one, whatever you prefer. I just suggest whatever method you choose to work out this question, just practice that one method. So that when you get to the testing center, you just do it like you rehearsed it. All right, let's take a look and say someone has 100 shares at $100 per share. So now that is a $10,000 value. Okay, now that's going to be important because in a stock split, right, the total value has to stay the same before and after the split. You know, I describe a stock split as like cutting a pie into more slices. You have twice as many slices, but each slice is half the size. But you still have the same total amount of pie. So the total value's got to stay the same before and after. All right, so let's take a look at this, run this through the formula. So we're going to start with 100 shares. That was the original number of shares. Multiply that by the first number in the ratio. So let's say what the ratio. The company's going to do a 3-for-2 stock split. 3-for-2 split. So that means you get 3 shares for every 2 that you have now. So you start off with 100 shares, multiply that by the first number in the ratio. First number is a 3. So 100 times 3 is 300. Then divide the result by the second number. The second number is a 2. So 300 divided by 2 is 150 shares. That's the new number of shares. To find the new price per share, take the original price of $100, multiply that by the second number in the ratio. Well, the second number is a 2, so that gives you 200. Divide that result by the first number. The first number is a 3. Well, 200 divided by 3, well, it's going to be, well, you have to round it off to $66.67 per share. So that's our new result, right? 150 shares at $66.67 per share. Now we can do a checksum to make sure we did the math right, because 150 shares times $66.67 a share is a total of $10,000.50. All right, now we're going to attribute the 50 cents to rounding error, because we did have to round up to the nearest penny. But other than that, we did the math right. No matter what type of split you do, 3 for 2, 5 for 4, 7 for 3, 19 for 5, a reverse split, 1 for 3, 1 for 5, all works the same. Follow the formula. Now, there's another way to do this. To find the new price per share. Now, you know that the total value still has to stay the same before and after, right? So if we start with the total value, okay, take the total value and then divide by the new number of shares. So knowing that we start off at $10,000 and we divide that, we just figured that they end up with 150 shares. Well, that will give you a value of, I'll do the math, make sure. 10,000 divided by 150 is, yep, $66.67 per share. So that's another method. They're both, as you see, they both work. They'll give you the answer you're looking for. Just pick whatever method you prefer. How'd that work? Is that okay? Ashley, is this working for you? Okay, good deal. If you gave you a problem, do you think you could do it? All right, good. All right. Should we put that to the test, or would you want to try one yourself? Or okay. All right. Does the thumb up mean that you're all good, or does it mean you do want to try one for yourself? Try one. All right. Let's say we'll start with the same premise here: 100 shares at $100 per share, and the company announces a 5-for-4 stock split. Okay. So crunch the numbers. In fact, anyone else wants to try this? Okay, more practice here. Company announces a 5-for-4 split. Okay, so you can type in what you think is the answer. New number of shares and new price per share. And if everyone else will give it a try, give it a go. 125 shares at $8,000. Well, what we get if we have 125 shares at $8,000 per share, that'd be $1 million. Not bad, but it does sound a little high. Maybe a little decimal place kind of thing here. No worries. Back up and try again. Okay. Ashley, have you worked it out? New number of shares is 125. Okay. And new price per share? $80 per share. Let's check it out. So we start off with 100 shares. Multiply by the first number, which is a 5. That gives you 500. Divide the result by 4, and that gives you 125 shares. Good so far. Take the original price of $100 per share. Multiply that by the second number of 4. That gives you 400. And divide the result by the first number, which is a 5. 400 divided by 5 is 80. And we do a checksum, 125 shares at $80 a share. And that will give you a grand total of 10,000. Brilliant. Hey. All right. I think you sussed it. I think you got it worked out. But okay, no matter which way you do it, whatever kind of split they give you, you got the formula, you got the answer. All right, great, Ashley. Okay, anyone else got something they want to ask about or go over or check out? Okay. All right. So all right. So in this section, I want to go over some additional questions here, and I just made a discovery just recently, is that I still have access to the Kaplan question bank. So, and I've hardly even touched it. So it's like a whole pristine new question bank that hasn't been used. But if you can give me a moment, I'm going to go pull that up, and I'm going to bring up questions. I want to, since we want to focus on the specifically in this particular area, and as I've had the chance again to look at people's scores and see how you're doing, I want to make sure that we're all good on the part about retirement accounts. We expect that to be a pretty big part of the test. So if you give me a moment, I will pull that up for you. All right, I think you'll be able to see this on your screen right now. So first question is, minimum required distributions, RMDs for IRAs must begin by A, prior to the year the participant turns 70 and a half. B, the year after the participant turns 73. C, prior to the year the participant turns 59 and a half. Or D, the year after the participant turns 59 and a half. Okay, already some people are answering. I've got some folks answering here. All right, I'm counting. Okay, just make sure. Okay, yes, counting 8. So what do you think? So most folks, we got some difference of opinion here. We show some B's, some D's. It's basically come down between B and D. But this question has to do with required minimum distributions, RMDs. Now consider that IRAs, for the most part, with some exceptions, but they're funded with after-tax money, right? You get a tax deduction putting money to an IRA. So it's pre-tax. You haven't paid tax on it yet. It grows on a tax-deferred basis. You don't pay any taxes until you take the money out. So the IRS is still waiting around for its cut. Now, they'll wait around for it, and they'll wait a long time, but they won't wait forever. At some point, you must start taking distributions, and that's going to be choice B, the year after they turn age 73. That is now the RMD age. By the way, that's a recent change. Last year, it was 72. This year, it's 73 for required minimum distributions. The age 59 and a half, that's the standard retirement age where they can take withdrawals from an IRA and not have to pay a premature distribution penalty. They'll still pay taxes, right, on what they take out, but no 10% penalty on top of that. Counting down the days. Okay. All right. Are you good here? Is there any part of this? Okay, that you thought it was 59 and a half? Right. The 59 and a half is the minimum, is the standard retirement age where they can withdraw without penalty. But they must start, so they can take money out at 59 and a half without penalty, but they must start taking money out by age 73. Actually, it's the April April 1st following their 73rd birthday. Does the year after just mean 74? Yeah, it's strictly speaking, it's the April 1st following their 73rd birthday. So if their birthday is March 31st, guess what, right? On the other hand, if their birthday is April 2nd, you got some time. Okay, good deal. All right, let's see if we can check our next question. At what minimum age could normal distributions be made from an individual retirement account without a penalty? A, 65 years old. B, 70 and a half years old. C, 59 and a half years old. D, 62 years old. I think we may have just mentioned something about this. Yeah, everyone answers so fast. I didn't. I barely even looked up to see. Yeah, everyone answered so fast, and everyone answered choice C. Good, 59 and a half years old. Yes. Okay. Now the number 70 and a half came up a couple times as false answer choices. Is because the required minimum distribution age is now 73. It was increased to age 72, but prior to that, it was age 70 and a half. So that's why that's maybe coming up. They're trying to throw that in as a distraction. But no, it's now age 73, so that's the number you want to know for the test. Age 73 is required RMD age. So, and by the way, what is the penalty? Can anyone tell me what's the penalty for failing to take a required distribution? Fortunately, it's not as severe as it used to be, but it's still pretty steep. Ashley says 25%. Ashley, you were correct. It's 25% now. But remember, that just changed this year. Last year, when it was age 72, the failing to take the RMD was a 50% penalty. That's right, 50% on the amount that should have been withdrawn but wasn't. So if you if you know somebody, or if you have clients who are of RMD age, give them a gentle reminder so they don't end up taking this massive 25% penalty. Yeah, OMG, right-handed. Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. So it's not as severe as it used to be, but still pretty severe. Maybe the stop the referral they got during COVID. I don't know if it really had to do with that. I think they just sort of went, hey, this is maybe just too much. Okay. And then now they've been increasing the RMD age for a while because, understanding and realizing that, people are just generally living longer. All right. How about this one? Your customer retired 2 years ago at age 68. He recently took a job with a golf course cleaning carts. He would like to contribute to a retirement plan to accumulate additional money with the view to leave something to his grandchildren. You would most likely advise him to open A, a Roth IRA, B, a traditional IRA, C, an annuity, or D, a mutual fund. I know. I mean, I'm thinking the same thing myself. Hmm. Right. Okay. Depending on earned income, true. Right. A or C. But if he's got a job cleaning carts at a golf course, does that sound like a really high level of income kind of job? Tips, lots of true, lots of tips. That's true. Lots of tips. Okay, let me see if everyone's answered. I'm not sure. Tax-free tips. Okay, I think that's everybody. Is anybody who's not answered yet? Okay, well, you know what? I'm myself of a few minds here. Um, First off, I'm going to eliminate choice D, a mutual fund. Why? Because it's not a retirement plan. Okay, and doesn't get any special tax treatment. With a annuity, now my thought is, of course, he could set up an annuity, right, which is a guaranteed lifetime income stream. And he could name his grandchildren as beneficiaries, right? As let's say a um, they'll kind of the time the minimum time guarantee, the period certain, or it could make it a refund life. Whatever left over in the annuity goes to the grandchildren. But on the other hand, if he lives a good long life, he may not be there may not be anything left in the annuity. And it just says annuity. It doesn't say anything about being a period certain annuity or unit refund annuity. And if it doesn't say it, we got to be careful not to assume it. We got to go with the information that's given to us. So I'm going to eliminate an annuity because if it's just a regular annuity, that's payments for life, and payments stop when the beneficiary passes away or the annuitant passes away. There is no beneficiary in just a straight life annuity, and it doesn't say anything else. So it doesn't say it, don't assume it. So is it Roth IRA or traditional IRA? Well, both of them could have beneficiaries to them. Considering, I'm going to guess that he's got as a golf course cleaning car, it's kind of a low income kind of start. So I'm actually going to take a stab at this. I'm not myself 100% sure of this. I'm just going to take a stab at the Roth IRA. And what do you know? Okay. The Roth IRA are after tax deductions, right, would allow earnings to accumulate tax deferred, right? Okay. And Roth IRA distributions need not begin at age. Okay, now see, they need to update their explanation here. It's now age 73. Okay, so all distributions are tax free. So with all that in mind, actually, I had not even considered the thought of that he does not, as a Roth IRA, he's not required to take RMDs. After all, with a Roth IRA, they're funded with after-tax money, no tax deduction up front. So the IRS already got its cut, so they don't care when you take it out. All right, so that does sound pretty good. All right, next one. So there we go. Which of the following is not a defined contribution plan? A, ABC Corporation Simple Retirement Plan. B, ABC Corporation Pension Plan. C, ABC Inc. Profit Sharing Plan. D, ABC Corporation 401k Plan. Oh, Amy's your favorite product? The Roth IRAs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, right. I converted mine. All right. The year they came available. Okay, I think I'm counting 7. There it is. Counting 8. Good. Which is not a defined contribution plan. Now remember, we got a not or an except. We got to find the false answer choice. We got to remember to find false in this case. Which one's not a defined benefit? Simples, savings incentive match plan for employees. That's defined contribution. Defined contribution means you know what goes in, you don't know what comes out. Profit sharing plan, right? That's a defined contribution. Just the contribution can change based on company's profits. A 401k, right? You put some money out of your paycheck, the company puts a matching plan on top of that. You know what goes in. The one that's not the defined contribution is the pension plan. Okay. What type of plan, before I hit the button here, can you tell me what type of plan is a pension plan? If it's not defined contribution, it's a defined. Who can tell me? Defined benefit. You got it. Okay. Yes, it's a defined benefit plan. Perfect. There it is, right? The others are defined contribution. This is the okay. This is the benefit plan. Okay. In other words, as a defined benefit plan means there's a formula. If you work for the company for so many years, you get so much percentage of your salary when you retire. Okay. A 73-year-old customer has a $30,000 required minimum distribution calculated to be taken from an IRA. If the customer is in the 20% income tax bracket and only withdraws $25,000 from the account, how much in penalties will the customer owe? A, $6,000, B, $1,250, C, $7,500, or D, $6,250. And those you can use a calculator for any math problem. They give you a calculator at the test center. Well, the question is, what kind of IRA has a $30,000 arm? It's the customer who has a $30,000 required minimum distribution, and the customer is in the 20% tax bracket. Okay, I'm counting 4 answers so far. 5. Oh, 6. 6. Okay, I think that's everyone. Let's go ahead and see. All right, now notice what the question says here. Okay, yeah, the customer's in the 20% income tax bracket, but the question specifically is how much in penalties will the customer owe? The question is penalties, right? The question is not taxes, not how much in taxes will they owe. That's why reading questions carefully is so important. All right, so in this case, all right, he's got a $30,000 MD, only withdrew $25,000. That's $5,000 shortfall. So therefore, the penalty is 25% on the amount that should have been withdrawn and wasn't. Right now, that should be $1,250. There it is. Yes. Okay. Now, no, $1,250, and because the question was the penalty. What penalty do they owe? Not how much tax do they owe. All right, feeling okay about this so far? 25% is the current. Yes, that is the current penalty for failing to take an RMD. Remember, it used to be, right, until very recently, it was 50%. I think until, last year, I think it was 50%. This year is 25%. So not as severe as it once was. My pleasure, Karina. If a 40-year-old customer earns $85,000 a year and his 38-year-old spouse earns $140,000 a year, how much may they contribute to individual retirement accounts, IRAs? A, they may not contribute because their combined income is too high. B, only the higher wage earner may contribute to an IRA. C, they may each contribute 100% of earned income or the maximum allowable dollar limit, whichever is less. Or D, they may contribute up to the maximum allowable dollar limit, split evenly between both accounts. Okay, I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7. Okay, so waiting for one more. When do you think that the right answer is? Okay. So 40-year-old customer earns $85,000 a year, and his spouse, 38, earns $140,000. All right. So which is true? First off, A is not true. Okay, because anybody with earned income can contribute to an IRA, and don't worry about their income's too high. The only thing it might be if it's too high is whether or not they can deduct the contribution. If someone's income is above a certain amount and they're also covered by a qualified retirement plan at work, such as a pension or 401k, they can still contribute. They just may not be able to deduct the contribution or only partially deduct the contribution. Only the higher wage earner? Nope, not at all. Like I said, anybody with earned income. They can contribute 100% of earned income up to the maximum dollar limit, whichever is less. Sure sounds good. And no, it does not have to be split between both accounts. Our best answer is C. Correct. The fact that he was 40 years old and 38 years old, yes, that did make a difference, because if they were over age 50 years old, they can make the maximum contribution plus a catch-up provision, a catch-up amount, right? Which, by the way, is an extra $1,000. For the test, by the way, assume someone is under age 50 and not available, doesn't have the catch-up provision available, unless you're told otherwise. A traditional pension plan is what type of corporate-sponsored qualified plan? A, defined benefit plan. B, profit-sharing plan. C, defined contribution plan. Or D, Section 403B plan. I really hope you can get this one. All right, everyone got this one? And what type is a pension plan is a defined benefit plan. Yes, a DB plan. Right, because right in a pension, right, means you get a certain dollar, you know what you're supposed to get when you retire. Okay, right? They basically set up an annuity for you. The defined contribution plan, choice C, that's like the 401k, right? You put in a certain dollar amount, your employer makes a certain match, so you know it goes in, but you don't know what comes out later. Any question about that? Okay, pension is defined benefit. Okay, that's the traditional pension thing. Is there anyone who's got not totally sure? Because a lot of folks chose defined contribution. Okay, thanks, Karina. Which of the following are true of both qualified plans and non-qualified plans? A, tax on interest and dividends are deferred but not on capital gains. B, the accounts grow tax deferred. C, contributions are not tax deductible. D, contributions are tax deductible. Okay, I think that's everyone else. So true of both qualified plans and non-qualified plans. Now, it might help to remember what's the definition. A qualified plan is one that qualifies under IRS rules for special tax treatment. It means it qualifies for upfront tax deductions. So that means those are tax deductible plans. Non-qualified plans, however, do not qualify for upfront tax deductions. So C and D are right out, right? Because because the non-qualified plans, right, they're not tax deductible. The qualified plans, right, they are tax deductible. Do the accounts grow tax deferred, or do the interest on dividends deferred, but the capital gains aren't? No, all the accounts grow tax deferred. That's still the benefit of a non-qualified retirement plan. Like an annuity is a non-qualified plan unless it says qualified annuity. You don't get an upfront tax deduction, but it's still the growth still accrues tax deferred, which still is the big benefit because it lets your money grow and compound that much faster. if you don't have to take a certain amount for taxes every year. So only the growth is subject to tax in a non-qualified plan. Question says there's no capital gains on retirement plans. There's no capital gain tax. That is true. They don't get the lower tax rate. Anytime someone takes money from a retirement plan, whether it's an IRA, a 401k, or an annuity, if that money is subject to tax, it's taxed ordinary income. So the capital gains, okay, now you can have it in the sense of a capital gain, right? If you buy something in an IRA and you sell it for a profit, okay, that's a okay, you can look at that as being a capital gain, but still that is not subject to tax. It's still deferred, nothing until you take the money out. But you never get the capital gains rate. Good. I'm going to bring up a message here in that I wish you could annotate with Google Meet. But basically, there's three types of plans here. Okay, in a qualified plan, okay, you get a tax deduction going in. Tax deduction going in, and pay tax on the way out. Okay. In a non-qualified plan, okay, no tax deduction going in, and tax is on the growth only. You only pay taxes on what you take out of it more than you put into it. Since the contributions, right, were already paid tax on that one, so no need to pay taxes on the way out. And then the Roth designation, the Roth designated plan, no tax deduction going in, and tax-free on the way out. Okay, so those are your three types. All right, distributions from IRAs are taxed at A, ordinary income tax rate on the full amount of the distribution. B, long-term capital gains rate on the amount of the distribution that exceeds the amount contributed. C, ordinary income tax on the amount of the distribution that exceeds the amount contributed. Or D, long-term capital gains rate on the full amount of the distribution. It's interesting, isn't it? We have a discussion and they bring up a question about it right after. Maybe I shouldn't just bring it up. Maybe I should wait until after we've had the questions. All right, I think I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right, give me a few more seconds here. Okay, if we're ready, I'm going to close this one out. Take a shot in the dark. Okay. So distributions from IRAs, taxed at. First off, we already know B and D are out, right? You don't get the capital gains rate, just like we just said. Ordinary income tax rate on distributions over the amount contributed. Now that would be a non-qualified plan. We just went over that, didn't we? So that would be a non-qualified. IRAs are qualified in that they get upfront tax deductions. Ordinary income on the full amount of the distribution. Good. Okay, now you might have been thinking, and this went through my mind. Well, sometimes someone has a not right a non-qualified contribution into a qualified plan, right? IRAs are not always tax deductible, depending on their income and if they're in a pension. But again, the test question didn't say anything about it. Then if it doesn't say it, don't assume it. You always go with what they tell you. If you find yourself thinking about, well, what if this happens or that happens or things like that, you're probably getting off track. You're probably getting lost in the weeds. Okay, let's try the next one. Which of the following is an acceptable investment for an IRA? A collection of medieval manuscripts and art. B, a universal variable life insurance contract. C, gold coins minted in Switzerland but sold in the US. D, a mutual fund specializing in speculative bonds. Okay, no problem changing your answer. See if we got everyone. Okay, I think we're waiting for one more. All right. Again, take a stab in the dark. You got to remember, if you're not sure, you got a 1 in 4 chance if nothing else. You don't leave a question unanswered on the real test, so don't leave it unanswered in a simulation either. Okay, but we got to move on. So, which of the following are acceptable investments for an IRA? Now, IRAs, you can invest in an IRA, and a lot of things are acceptable investments, right? Almost everything, but there's a few things not. First off, collectibles are not acceptable investments for an IRA, and medieval manuscripts and art, those are collectibles. Life insurance is not acceptable for an IRA, so you can't do that. Gold coins minted in Switzerland but sold in the US, the only gold coin that is acceptable for an IRA are US minted gold coins, right? Those are the American EU gold coins. Everywhere else in the world, afraid not. A mutual fund specialized in speculative bonds, all good. Mutual funds are fine investments for an IRA. I've got mutual funds in my IRA. And even though they're speculative bonds, except they don't call it a mutual fund of speculative bonds, they call it a high yield bond fund, right? Which are speculative bonds, where they're high yield because they have high risk, right? They have low credit grade, right? They're below investment grade credit quality, or you might call them junk bonds. But what do you think they're going to put on the sales brochure? Invest in this high yield bond fund or invest in this junk bond fund? Which tube of toothpaste are you buying? Mutual funds are all good. In a defined benefit pension plan. Oh, question here is why would anyone invest in that? They're nearing retirement and want something that's high yield. High yield, right? They're willing to take a higher degree of risk because again they expect to get higher interest rates, higher rate of return from it. They figure it's a risk worth taking. The test, however, considers high yield bonds or speculative bonds or junk bonds on the moderately aggressive category. So be very cautious with them. Think that the test thinks that they may be too risky for a lot of people. Because after all, everybody wants a higher yield. Not everybody wants higher risk. So always look at clues about how much risk they're willing to take. Or if they're retirees or close to, they probably want to play it safer than that. At the cost of working for another couple of years. Hey, like I said, okay, people have different investment objectives. So in a defined benefit plan, 1, the benefit amount is fixed. 2, the benefit amount is variable. 3, the contribution amount is fixed. Or 4, the contribution amount can vary. Is the best answer 2 and A 2 and 3, B 2 and 4, C 1 and 3, or D 1 and 4? Okay, I think that's everyone. So in a DB plan, okay, yeah, the benefit is fixed, right? We know exactly what our benefit's going to be, but who's responsible for making sure that the contributions are enough to meet what they promised, right? Who's got the investment risk in a defined benefit plan? Is it the employer or the employee? Who's got the investment risk in a defined benefit plan? Okay. All right. I've got one for employee and one for employer. In a defined benefit plan, it is the employer who has the investment risk because the employer has promised a fixed pension to an employee and they got to live up to that. In a defined benefit plan, where the employee puts their own money in the plan, it's the employee who has the investment risk. All right. So in that case, I think I'm going to agree with everyone that choice D was the best answer. Yep. There we go. In a defined benefit plan, the employee is promised a certain amount at retirement, and the employer has to put in enough money to meet that promise. Changing rates of return can require change in deposits to meet the promised amount at retirement. That's it exactly. Which of the following are true of qualified plans but not true of non-qualified plans? 1. Contributions are not tax deductible. 2. Contributions are tax deductible. 3. Plan needs IRS approval. 4. Plan does not need IRS approval. Is the best answer A, 2 and 3, B, 2 and 4, C, 1 and 4, or D, 1 and 3? Okay. Now, by the way, if you watch the recording, I've started to, at least when I remember to, hit the pause button while I'm waiting for people to answer, because that'll take some of the boring part of it out of the recording. Which of the following are true of qualified retirement plans but not true of non-qualified plans? A qualified retirement plan qualifies for upfront tax deductions. Contributions are deductible in a qualified plan, such as a 401k. Okay. But since they are tax deductible, then they have to meet rather strict IRS requirements, right? And they fall under the rules of ERISA, right? The Employee Retirement Income Security Act. So I think our best answer is A. Yes. Non-qualified plans, however, right, don't qualify for upfront tax deductions. They're funded after tax, so they don't get that benefit. However, that also means they don't have to live up to, right, don't have to meet IRS standards. Okay. All right. So I hope you understand why I chose A instead of B. And again, if you need any detailed clarity about that, if it doesn't totally 100% make sense, remember, you can pick my brain because I wasn't using it. Next question. All the following are true of Roth IRAs except A, contributions are made after tax. B, contributions may be able to be made after 59 and a half. C, withdrawals are not required at age 72. D, contributions may be deductible depending on income limits. All right, I think I've got everyone here. So, which of all the following are true of Roth IRAs except it's an except question. So we got to find the lie. It's true that contributions are made after tax. It's also true that contributions may be made after 59 and a half, as long as they have earned income. It's true because they're funded after tax. The IRS doesn't care when you take the money out, so they're not subject to required minimum distributions. starting at age 73 now. Right? They need to update their question database here. Are contributions made deductible? Contributions to Roth are never deductible. Right? They're funded after tax money, but the benefit is, as long as it meets guidelines, they can take the money out tax-free, both principal and growth, 100% tax-free in retirement. That's why some people like the Roth IRA. Okay. Okay, is that right, Amy? Okay. Next question. Who can contribute to an IRA? A, anyone with earned income not covered by an employer-sponsored plan. B, anyone with earned income. C, anyone with earned income under age 59 and a half. I think I've got everyone. And everyone said B. And you know what? I agree. So does Kaplan. Anyone with earned income, right? Even if they have a employer-sponsored plan, it's just they may or may not be able to deduct the contribution, or only partially deduct it based on their income. Okay, that just said that, yes. Under age 59 and a half? Okay, well, if you're over 59 and a half, no, that's just the standard retirement age, right? Then you can take out without penalty. Okay. Then the question was, what about after age 73? Now, until recently, you probably could not have made contributions past age 73 because you should be in the taking money out stage, not the putting in stage. But I think that law just recently changed too. Next question. What is the big advantage Roth IRAs have over traditional IRAs? I bet we just talked about it. A, distributions are normally tax-free. B, there are no penalties for early distributions. C, there are no income limits. D, contributions are tax-free. Okay. I counted 7. And so what's the big advantages that Roth IRAs have over traditional IRAs? Remember, the Roth is the back end IRA. So that's why the distributions are normally tax-free. That's the whole deal. Now now remember, there's 2 conditions, right? 2 conditions. You remember what they are for tax-free distributions? Or tell me either or both. Anyone tell me? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Oh, you didn't hear? Oh, you couldn't hear. I'm sorry. Okay. The question was, there are 2 conditions that need to be met for tax-free Roth IRA distributions. We'll call them qualified distributions from a Roth IRA. What are the 2 conditions? You remember? You said Bueller too. All right, what are the 2 conditions? Or at least one of the 2 conditions. It's a testable topic. Earned income? No. This is about the distributions, not about going in. Okay, it's not about contributions to the Roth IRA. Then there are income limits. All right, there's one 50. Okay, Karina says 59 and a half at least. Yes, must be standard retirement age, 59 and a half. And Alexis says open for 5 years. Yes, you have to have the Roth IRA open for at least 5 years. Meet those 2 conditions, and your Roth IRA distributions are 100% tax-free. Perfect. Thank you, Karina and Alexis. You get to share the prize. All right, I think that was our last one. How did we do here? Yeah, hey, we are right. We're brilliant, aren't we? All right, is there anything else you'd like to review or ask about? All right, I admit, okay, one of those questions, like I was a little touch and go on that one myself. I wasn't totally too super sure. Okay. Anyway, how you feeling about this? Is there anything that you'd like to, again, if there's anything that you need on this, help out. Okay, and by the way, I did have the chance to go through and check out your scores, right, and see, for GBS 261, and I've noticed a lot of you making the massive amounts of progress. So to get to that, minimum that minimum score, right, 70%, won't take too much more, but some folks still need to get a little caught up on that. So please do so as quickly as you can. Okay, just take your chapter exams if you haven't taken those, right? If there are things where in those confirm, check your understanding, right? If you get 70% on those, you get 5 points on them. Sometimes I've noticed, you might have been taking them more than once, still haven't quite hit that 70% yet. If you haven't, hey, there's a quick 5 points that'll get you back, get you on track here. Do you need to complete all the final exams? You don't need to. There's the final exam, which most of us took in class, some of us had to make up, but then you take one more final exam, and you don't need to, but nevertheless, please do. And the reason I say that is because you just got to take practice and practice and practice and practice over and over. Again, I'm going to try and stress this, but do something on a daily basis. Keep the momentum going between now and the day you sit down for your test. And you do something on a daily basis, and you'll keep that momentum. Okay. No, you okay. I know, relief, Amy. Nevertheless, even though you don't need to, I'm really going to suggest you do, just to keep practice and practice. Okay. All right. With that, folks, I don't really have a whole lot else to go over with you here today. So if it's all right with you, I can let you out the door like 10 minutes early. Okay. All right, Colby.
Yes. So you said there was 2 simulated final exams. Apparently I only did one, and I only have one graded in Canvas. So do I just, as I'm practicing these final exams, will you just grade another one that's a high score, or?
Yeah. Okay. So we'll take 2 finals. Okay, to go and which we'll put in Canvas. If you take a third one, right, I'll record your highest score in your grade. Okay, and that's always the case. If you need to take a mastery exam, if your first mastery exam, out of the format, if that wasn't too terribly stellar, okay, hey, take it again, right? Yes, grab some more, try and outdo yourself, and I'll score the higher of the 2 points, higher the scores. Okay, well, with that, folks, I think we're about wrapped up for today. Let me just move this over here. Okay, so I think that covers it for today. All right, my pleasure, everyone. Okay, so clear this off here. All right, big old applause. All right, everyone, we will see you again next time, okay? All right, have a good night, everybody. And remember, call me for help, right? See you later, folks. Bye-bye.